you're listening to a Token Nerd Network podcast. 3, 2, 1. Where we ramble on about geeky things. Things ranging from Batman to pop figures to Star Wars.
From Token Nerd Podcast.
Stay spicy, my friends. Hey everybody, welcome to the Token Nerd Network podcast. We ramble on about geeky things ranging from Batman to pop figures to Star Wars. I'm your host, Anthony Pettiford, and today with me we have let's see, I don't want to call you a sidekick, but you're definitely the newest Robin.
Whoa.
You're definitely the newest Robin, but you're the Tim Drake Robin. That's fair. Travis was easily the Dick Grayson, then Addison was the Jason Todd.
That would mean you're Batman.
That would mean I'm Batman.
Now that
It's where we're at right now. So, Robin, welcome.
I'd rather have the Green Lantern, where he can't really beat Batman, but he's not a sidekick.
Welcome to our new Robin, Eddie, the newest token nerd to the podcast. So Eddie, we met during a drunken kickball, and oddly enough, our friendship began in a weird, I wouldn't even say it was super intoxicated, but it was definitely intoxicated. Conversation about Harley Quinn and why, I knew it was all Harley Quinn based, but we ended up talking about Suicide Squad because it had just come out.
Which was absolutely horrible, and I did not like Harley Quinn on Suicide Squad.
Neither did I, and that's what sparked the friendship, was our hate of Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. So we are going to cover up, we haven't been off the air for a while, trying to get things situated, an actual place to do a regular podcast. It's been a little difficult trying to find a place to do it. But you've been getting a ton, if you're listening to us on Podbean or on iTunes, you've been getting a lot of Addison and the Real Film Geeks. And Travis has been doing a bunch of stuff on Urban Valid Daily, which obviously if you're listening to us, you've been listening to them. So, there's been stuff to listen to, but the Token Nerd Network podcast is back. And so we're going to go over the topics of the week. So we're past SDCC 2017, which aired or released a bunch of trailers. We had, they released footage or background footage for Black Panther, a new trailer for Thor Ragnarok, Justice League trailer, Infinity War, which is yet to be released publicly. I know if you go online, you can find leaked stuff from the Infinity War trailer, but
I think it's too early for a actual viable Infinity War trailer.
No, I don't think so. It's from where they're at, they've gotten a lot done. It's just that I'm trying to think of a good way to put it. Marvel got really weird about people leaking their stuff. Was it 2 years ago or last year?
Well, and so Disney took over, and Disney has his hand in anything. They really strict.
Yeah, the mouse's hand is in that little white glove. But no, so it's been, like I said, I've heard people talk about it, but I've tried to stay away from it as much as possible because if I'm going to see it, I want to see it in HD. I want to see, they say Thanos pops out, and I want to see Thanos in all his glory, not a shaky cam with a really grainy, blurry picture of a purple guy. Don't ruin everything. But no, so let's jump into the first topic of the day. And hold on one second, let me grab my phone. Because you were able to look at, I sent you the topics that we're going to cover today. Did you get to look at any of the pictures? Okay. So normally I send out links. I usually send out links of the things we're going to cover. But the first topic is WASP. So, Wasp from the upcoming Ant-Man sequel, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Angeline Lilly. You can talk. Oh, yeah. Where we're recording at is a Wi-Fi-less zone. So this is Abby's new apartment, and she hasn't gotten Wi-Fi yet. So I'm lucky enough that I found someone's hotspot that I've been jumping off of. But I will pull it up real quick for you.
All right.
So basically, it's no big spoiler, nothing crazy. Angeline Lilly has just been working out, and she posted a picture because they're starting to film for Ant-Man and the Wasp. So let me pull up the Wasp. So if you remember from the first Ant-Man movie, she was more of a supporting character. You know, she wanted to wear the Ant-Man suit. She wanted to be involved, but her dad kept her out of it. So really, we weren't expecting a lot. And at the very end of the movie, they revealed that there was a costume for her. Well, she posted a picture of her getting ready to go out and film, and she is ripped.
Well, first off, just off of the first view, she's gonna be able to beat Ant-Man up.
It's gonna be Wasp and the Ant-Man. So yeah, there is no big spoiler, no big reveal. It's just that she is ripped as heck, and muscly armed paper boy right there.
I'm looking forward to seeing the movie for the simple fact that this is the first time that you actually be able to see the Wasp character, who is a very big character in the entire,
an important character in Marvel,
and really huge in Avengers. They should have been in the Ultron movie because those two are very, very big in Ultron.
Yeah.
First off, he created, but that's a different story. We can go there another
time.
Yeah. But I'm actually looking forward to it. The first movie, while not a great movie, was entertaining.
I liked the first movie, but like you said, Wasp is a crucial character to the franchise. She was actually supposed to be in Avengers. So it wasn't really supposed to be. I don't believe Black Widow was supposed to be as crucial of a character. I think they swapped them out, or she was supposed to be it anyway. But yeah, Janet Van Dyne was supposed to be in the movie, and at the last second they took her out.
Well,
not last second, but
Black Widow is a more important figure because it gives another character that you can base off of who has no powers whatsoever.
No, I get that. I was just saying, so it worked out in the end.
It did.
I'm not thrilled. I like the Hawkeye character more than like Black Widow.
Well, Black Widow's not actually viable at all. It's just you need somebody who didn't have superhuman powers.
Yeah, and they keep saying Hawkeye is the same thing. Everyone wants Hawkeye to die, by the way. Everyone keeps talking about Infinity War, that he has to die. Why?
Well, Vision has to die, but that's about it.
Yeah, Vision. There's gonna be a scene where Thanos will rip the stone from Vision's head, and I'm gonna flip out.
There's only one thing I want to see in Infinity War. I want to see Thanos beat Spider-Man with a rock. That's just like the comic.
Yeah.
That's all I want to see is just him beat Spider-Man with a rock.
But no, so like I said, not a lot here. Just that it was a really cool picture of Angeline Lilly, who will be playing. Not Janet Van Dyne. She'll be playing their daughter, Hope Van Dyne. But there will be oh my goodness, I'm failing. Who is Catwoman in Batman Returns?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer, that was it. Okay, yeah. So Michelle Pfeiffer will be Janet Van Dyne because I guess at the Ant-Man panel at SDCC, Paul Rudd and Michael Pena gave her. I think the clip was them talking to her about catching her up from what happened in the Marvel Universe. So they're explaining to her what's been going on, and it's supposed to be really funny. But no, so let's just jump from that topic because not a lot there. Ant-Man 2, or Ant-Man and the Wasp.
It wasn't a lot in the first movie either. I mean,
Ant-Man and the Wasp will be released July 6th in 2018. So next year.
Just real quick,
yeah.
Will that giant ant still be walking around?
Good point. They never tied that up.
I kind of want that to be like Ant-Man's dog.
It was a dog because remember it was big enough that it was under the girl's table.
No, I want it to be like kind of a dog, but I want like a leash and a collar on him, and him have a name.
Yeah. Oh, so there's this funny little comic I saw, and it was Ant-Man, and they were making fun of Winter Soldier, and so it was Ant-Man turning, going Anthony. And then it was an ant turning around, and it had a metal wing, and it was like, who the hell is Anthony? And it was just making fun of Winter Soldier. Little funny tidbit there. So we'll jump. Speaking of female superheroes, I believe you're familiar with the Silver Sable and Blackcat movie that was announced around the same time that the Venom movie was announced.
Venom, which is gonna be amazing, but
Venom was still a stupid idea. Very stupid idea.
How's it stupid? We've been waiting.
No. That's
for
fine.
this.
That's fine. There cannot be a Venom movie without a Spider-Man in the universe.
And I agree.
Okay. What?
I agree.
Well, there is a soundbite I'm going to keep forever. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Venom is not a villain without Spider-Man. Well, to be fair, he's actually not a villain with Spider-Man. He just doesn't like Spider-Man. He doesn't like Peter Parker, which is fine because we all have that person that we just meet. Like, I don't like that guy.
Well, it's not just that. Here's a little tangent. With Venom, it's not so much he doesn't like him. It's the fact that it's the scorned lover.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Well, the suit sees Peter Parker as his perfect host, and Peter Parker and me should
Rejected
be together.
him.
And I understand that, but right now, how they are at is we can't stand the sight of you, and if I can't have you, I will destroy you.
Yeah.
So if Spider-Man is not in there, then who really cares about Venom? Nobody.
No, I agree. It just doesn't make, like, its placement. Like, I think the movie could work. I think on its own, yes. I would, and I know we can't just jump to Agent Venom. I'd rather have an Agent Venom movie than Venom.
See, but
For the sake of like selling movies, I would say, oh no, because Venom would be like watching a Hulk movie. Exactly, it would be watching a Hulk movie. Sorry, I got all dramatic. But Agent Venom, you can at least, it could be more controlled, the movie wise. Like before, Venom is not supposed to be.
well, how are you gonna bring Agent Venom in without a
I know.
Venom?
Well, I know. I'm saying
So what if this is just the lead way to have Agent Venom?
I know. I get that, but this Venom is not tied to Spider-Man, to the Spider-Man universe. It's its own separate thing.
Which is completely stupid.
Yeah, and then so from what I understand, and please comment and correct me if I'm wrong. I've not seen anyone saying that even Silver Sable and Blackcat will be in the Spider-Man universe. They're in their own separate thing with Venom, I guess.
And once again, Blackcat is a thief, and she's only viable because Spider-Man's there.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna go the same way as Suicide Squad. Without that main
definitely.
character, without Batman being there, Suicide Squad was a flop.
Yeah.
This one here is gonna be. It should actually be on Netflix.
No, I agree. Netflix is probably where it should go. But with Silver Sable, so the hashtag show, who they released other information basically about Silver Sable and the Blackcat movie. I'm not sure how credible this is, but I still wanted to read it anyway because I've seen it on a bunch of different other news sites where they're reporting it. So that makes it relevant, right?
Well, I do know for a fact I will be in the theater the day it comes out to see this movie.
Of course. I mean,
because I really want to see Blackcat on stage, jumping from rooftop to rooftop in black leather.
yeah. The before I read the rest of this statement, it was the fact that this is two female heroes, and I was going to ask this later. This wouldn't have been a thing without Wonder Woman.
I disagree.
Oh, there you go. Oh, there's a. Okay, well apparently there's a spider behind me. Speaking of Spider-Man, so, so would this movie have happened without Wonder Woman being the hit it was?
No. I don't think I think they're rushing to bring it out because of the hit of Wonder Woman, but I do not believe that this movie is a product of Wonder Woman's hit.
Okay.
Ever since Frozen, which is and it starts speaking to little girls about showing what women with power can do. Little girls are starting to grow up and trying to be more like that. I want to say that we can give this more to Frozen and Moana to washing these movies out because they see the following and fan base that these females are now given to movies.
I get that. My only issue is because this is Frozen and Moana are a different genre.
Yep,
all together with a different audience. This Sable,
not, though.
Silver Sable and Blackcat will not bring in the same audience that Moana and Frozen will.
It will still give little girls a chance to be that super female, and all they need to do is sell more costumes.
Yeah, I get that.
And that's
but
all it's gonna do.
I'm saying that Wonder Woman was the catalyst for this, because
Wonder Woman was rushing it out, but it's not the reason this movie is in existence.
I still believe I don't see a world where Silver Sable and Blackcat were anywhere on a docket, but like, oh, this is what we got to make. Blackcat was barely even a side character in Spider-Man, the movies. We'll talk about movies.
She's still barely a side character in anything.
Yeah, and then Silver Sable, we've never been. I've seen her once in she's been in the '95 animated series and Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's been in two, but just like that. Nothing long lasting. Only really remember because I had to think about it. But anyway, so let me read this real quick. So this is what some of the details that the hashtag show revealed or were posted. So they said it seems that Felicia Hardy, aka Black Cat, is going to wind up being hunted down by Mendel Storm. Yeah, Storm. I've never heard of that character before. Maybe I'm not as big of a nerd as I thought I was. Anyway, so when she steals something that he is using, what is described as an enchantment, this puts Silver Sable on her tail because Silver Sable is a lethal mercenary portrayed as a bounty hunter for the U.S. government or U.S. Department of Justice. And then she hopes that Felicia Hardy will help lead her to Storm, who has been performing experiments on the Skycaran. I guess it's a Middle Eastern country in Marvel.
This should be season 4 of Daredevil. Mm-hmm. That's what this should be. This is going to be a horrible, horrible movie.
I normally hate for saying this because I believe it's stupid too, but if it's this, I could believe this because Venom I can't. Venom needs Spider-Man. This little back and forth, like this is fine where I feel like this could happen on its own.
No.
If they played it like a spy movie, yeah, I think this could be on its own.
In any Spider-Man universe or any comic series in which you want to go through, Black Cat is saved countless times by Spider-Man.
Yeah, saved. No, I'm not.
So she doesn't do much on her own.
Yeah.
Very few times.
Okay, that's not what I'm arguing.
We can't have her being a lone rogue type hero without a big bad guy coming to save her.
So my thing was she was a cat burglar that Spider-Man ran into, and then they became recurring frenemies. So this is just about her as a villain, a cat burglar, which basically being Catwoman, and in the process of her, you know what? Dang it, this is a Catwoman plot.
Yes, it is a Catwoman plot.
Yeah. If you replace this amulet with a cat-shaped amulet, this is a Catwoman movie. Huh. Well.
We're just changing the color of the character and the color of her hair, and it should be the exact same thing.
Well. But still. Okay, I could still see this would almost be cool if it was a Catwoman Batgirl story. This would almost be a cool comic plot.
Comic,
yeah.
Yes, but should it be on the big screen? No. Just like the Siren comics. Those were very fun comics to read. Mm-hmm. But do you want to see that movie?
See, I don't know. I don't want Harley Quinn in it.
Do you want to see it on CW? That's different. But do you want to see the movie?
I would want to see the movie, but for that movie to exist, I would have needed Batgirl. What was it? Catwoman, Batgirl, and Harley Quinn. Or no, Poison Ivy was the other one.
Poison Ivy.
I would need them all to have been introduced before, or at least mentioned. So it's harder for me.
It's not going to go anywhere. Just like this movie. What's the end? What's your plot? What's your overall goal? There is not one. Mm-hmm. They just ran around doing little dumb things.
Yeah. And I've told this to Addison before. With my viewpoint of how the DC universe is going to go, will be there are two types of movies. Excuse me. So there was Man of Steel, and then there was a team-up movie. Okay, and so basically, Batman v Superman was the reaction movie. To Man of Steel. But then you have Suicide Squad. So there's the main story. So this is where I got off track.
Do we have to speak about Suicide Squad?
We got to for this one.
Oh.
So there's the main story, which follows the Justice League. So it'll be like Man of Steel to Batman v Superman to Justice League to whatever comes next. In between those movies, there was Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad was a reaction movie to Man of Steel, where the world was like, "Oh crap!
Yeah, what are we gonna do?
What are we gonna do? We need someone that we can control." And then they decide, "Oh, the best way to beat a guy who can shoot lasers from his eyes, let's get a guy with a boomerang and can tie knots."
That was an absolutely horrible movie.
Yeah.
The action scenes were fun, and anybody can watch the action
ending
scenes.
was all. I liked it up to the ending. Then when I said liked it, I meant I enjoyed what I was seeing. I didn't like the character designs. Anyway, I don't want to go into a hate boner about this. But anyway, so after Suicide Squad, we'll get Justice League.
Okay.
And so I feel like instead of Sirens, it would have been cool if they had done a Metal Men movie. So the Metal Men would have been a reaction to Justice League, where it's like, crap, like aliens came down. We weren't just fighting monsters that were here. There are things out there that are going to come here. So what do? We tried a Suicide Squad where we brought villains who had powers. We couldn't control them. Let's build our heroes. And that way we have complete control of them. And then Metal Men does their whole thing. Metal Men could be a great movie.
Wait, what's the team with a deck of cards?
The Royal Flush Gang?
Royal Flush Gang. There's a time period where the Royal Flush Gang is actually controlled by Waller. Mm-hmm. So that is a good introduction to, all right, we have the Justice League, but what are we going to have to stop them? And we can watch Waller control the Royal Flush Gang or build and create a Royal Flush Gang as they are later on down the line where they're pretty much all android type figures. That would work because you still have a team up, you still have a reaction, and we still know that the Justice League is still going to come there to try to stop it.
No, I agree. I'm completely on board. The only reason I picked Metal Men is because I wish we had more Metal Men stuff. I was banking for them to make a TV series on CW. Or at least have them show up in Legends of Tomorrow. But that aside.
That should just actually go away.
No. Okay. We're getting off topic. No. Like I said, we'll have a ramble episode where you and I will just ramble off, and we'll see where that rabbit hole goes.
It's just me sitting here for an hour proving you wrong. So, but if that's what you want.
You're very talkative for a Robin, by the way.
Because talkative. I'm not a Robin.
Anyway, so Silver Sable and Blackcat, this is going to be from the Sony universe. So speaking of Sony, this will transition to the next topic, which we won't go too deep into. But so Sony is in the process of buying Funimation. Last May, Sony said that they were weighing in on whether they're going to acquire the Funimation properties and company, and it looks like they're getting ready to move forward. Sony will be acquiring Funimation, who just recently did a partnership with Crunchyroll. We were kind of just talking about, you had Crunchyroll off mic, and they did this for, I think, $150 million. But the cool thing is, so Funimation will keep their CEO. I'm going to butcher his name. It's Jin Fukunaga. Fukunaga. We're going to go with that. And so he'll keep his position as CEO. So for the most part, we won't see huge changes. All
I think is going to happen is that Sony is just going to bring over new shows in which they have more copyright to.
Yeah.
Fullmetal Alchemist is pretty much like their big one.
Mm-hmm. So, but with the partnership of Netflix, they were already on.
So
they were already under the Funimation.
I just think
umbrella.
It's going to bring more shows. It's going to make it a little bit bigger. Probably bring in the audience that they want. Like I just got Funimation about a month ago, and I'm a huge anime fan, and I just saw no reason to get it until just recently. Mm-hmm. But for the common person, I don't think they will actually even notice anything different.
Yeah. Like I said, as long as they keep the voice actors, like that's what makes Funimation good.
Yep.
Great.
I don't see them changing though.
No, neither do I. The only so just some stats. Sony has purchased 95% of the company, while 5% remains to the original ownership. And I mean that's kind of it. They've been involved with other stuff. They've done other anime properties. Like I said, they've already owned Netflix. Yep. So they were behind or had their hands in Fullmetal Alchemist and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. So while I don't like, I feel like Sony's just a bad omen because they were struggling anyway.
Since anime is taken off now, this is a way for Sony. Did you call them Sony?
I call them Sunny.
For Sony to come up a little bit bigger and have their name back out into the market to be a big player again. They can ride Funimation's fame for a little bit.
Yeah, because Funimation does bring in. I mean, it has its following, and you have the Funimation app. There's just something to be said. They have their simul dub, which is they'll like for me. I watch My Hero Academia, and once the sub comes out, within I think the next day, a dub comes out. So you get that. They also did the same thing for D Gray Man. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah.
I love D Gray Man.
It was okay.
And so, neither of us are really going to care about, like we said, we'll see what the impact's going to be later. I don't see it being anything that we'll notice.
Nope.
So just for the fun of it, I was going to ask you, so what is your favorite anime dub? I was going to ask Funimation dub, but let's just go animated dub, so dub to English.
So, not really a fair one because...
Give me 3 then, instead of 1, just 3.
Dragon Ball Z is number 1.
Okay.
Samurai X, Rurouni Kenshin Wandering Samurai, is by far probably the best anime that I've probably ever seen. Chrome Shell Region is one that most people haven't seen. It's only like 1 season of it, but it's a very fun one. It's a good one to go. It's probably my top 3.
Okay. I'm going to go with Blue Exorcist.
Okay.
One, I love the anime anyway, and because like a lot of anime, when they want to wrap it up, they would make up their own ending, and they just added a second season, which follows the manga versus the anime ending. But anyway, so I love the voice acting to that. I mean, it was perfect because there's a point where like sometimes you get tired of hearing someone yell, like when you realize, oh, there's someone in a sound booth just yelling into a mic, and this character is doing something pointless. Whereas the voice acting for Blue Exorcist, it fit well. I didn't feel like they were overdoing it. I felt like everything was heartfelt. I believed I was listening to this character speak, not just because sometimes you'll listen for a voice like I can hear Justin Cook, who did Yusuke Urameshi. I can hear him in everything he does. But I would actually believe, oh no, this is a character from this world in this universe, and they're reacting a way that they would in this world. Another one I loved, Full Metal Alchemist, especially Brotherhood, is one of the best anime of all time. Period.
I like Full Metal Alchemist over Brotherhood.
What? No, you don't. No, you
yes,
don't.
I do. Oh, Full Metal Alchemist itself, I mean, that original one, it had a lot more comedy. It had a lot more. You had the storyline, you had the action, but you had bouts where it's just comedy too with it, where it's just some funny scenes and everything. And Brotherhood kind of went away with that a little bit. It wasn't as important to get your audience to laugh with you as you watch these brothers trying to do something idiotic.
I can see what you're saying, but I feel like because of what they did, and I don't know, this is just me talking about it, they were like, okay, we had already done the first season, which just like I said with Blue Exorcist, they followed the manga and then they had to make their own ending. With Brotherhood, they're like, oh, we already did an amazing job with the first section. So the first episode when they fight the lion chimeras, when they meet Rose, when they the death of what's the little girl's name when she turns into a chimera, which is drastic. Huh? No, Rose had the pink hair. The little girl. Oh my goodness, we're
doing bad this time.
Yeah, this is not a good start. Shoot. I can hear them saying it. I can hear them saying her name.
I can see her and everything.
I can see the scene in my head. But no. So we're saying a lot.
Okay, but it's a good show. It's just a very good viewpoint on an already amazing show. That's how this is a different viewpoint. And the viewpoint's not better, it's just a different one. Yeah. It's almost a viewpoint that's seen from the mind of an adult instead of the mind of a teenager to a kid, or who wants to laugh and wants to joke. Now it's like, oh, this is all gritty. It's it's kind of like Flash versus Arrow. One's funny and one's got some sign, and one's just all just dark and the sun doesn't shine apparently ever.
Really, I feel like the first one was darker than the second one.
There was so many times in the first one where it's just funny because you watching them do something stupid. You watching the brothers go back and forth. The animation to it where the mouth and everything changes. This is like probably one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
It's just the first one was classic, but I do like a second viewpoint. That second camera that was watching everything.
But then it expanded to what the manga had, where you fought with father and Sloth wasn't their mother. The whole different. Anyway, it's all about dubbed. Love the voice acting. I thought it worked really well. My last one, it's not Funimation. It's between. And I know there are a lot of anime fans who will kind of bite my neck off. I love Sword Art Online's voice acting.
Oh.
Loved it. I also really, really liked
the ending of the second season was horrible, but yeah.
Yeah, well, the ending of the second
second
season was bad. The ending of the second season, which was he sliced the guy in the I love the death of. What did they call him? They didn't call him Odin in that one. What do you call himself? Wow, Eddie, we need to really know our source material before we come onto this podcast.
Depends on what I'm jumping back and forth on.
Yeah, but no, when they butchered that guy.
No, I actually mean the ending, where we just pretty much watched the girl die for like 3 episodes. That's not.
Okay, sorry.
That's not needed. The second season, not the second part of the first.
I still look at season 1 is not Ironcrag. So Sword Art Online, then Elfenheim. Then Gungale, and then the not Sleeping Forest, Sleeping.
Now, even though it's broken down into like
Sleeping Night,
4 like seasons, it's still 2.
Okay,
so
sorry, I was confused. Yes, I did not like the ending of. Spoiler alert, by the way, for those of you who have not watched the end of Sword Art, and I'm surprised they haven't continued because it's supposed to go on. There's another part.
See, but why? Why go on?
Oh. Just this reminded me. So another dubbed I loved, Accelerate. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Accelerate. It's Accelerate. There is actually a comic where it merges because in this mindset, it's Accelerate is the future, and I'm not 100% sure this is real. It might have been just a fan comic that was on Manga Fox. It is Kirito logs in, and because of a glitch, he sees the future. He's sent to the future, and the future is Accelerworld. I think it's Accelerworld. Let me just verify that real quick.
You can only do so much with Sword Art Online. And I felt after the first half of the second season, they were done. There was nothing else to go to.
Accelerworld.
There's nothing else. I understand that this seed is supposed to sprout up and bring everything.
I didn't like that,
but they're done. You should end it right now before you just drag along and it's.
Well, it depends on what they make because there's no underlining plot. So like I would say, if they were hunting down the rest of Sleeping Coffin or Laughing Coffin.
Right, but that's outside of the game, not inside. So. Do we care what happens in the real world? No, we want to see him log in, use a sword or a light phaser,
and be trapped.
Yeah, and
I want him trapped.
That's what we want to see. But as of right now, they've already did everything they can do. They've went to different worlds. They did different games. They've had elves shooting swords. They went back to elves. So. They've already did everything which they can do, so why continue to drag this thing on?
No, I get it. I'm just saying for the sake of them, it could be... I would have liked if it was just like an agent. Like, Kirito is an agent. They're, looking through the games. Like, there is... Like, the idea of what Gungale was, it was find out why people are dying. If they had done that for multiple games. Like, they needed to expand that plot. Because that would have been something. It was, why are people still dying in the game? Why are people who are playing the game dying in real life? And it's finding out what mystery is. I know it's a light novel, so they have expanded this already. but I'm not reading it because I'm waiting for the anime to come.
Yeah, I just feel that it's boring. We've already seen everything he can do. We've seen what he can do in multiple worlds and multiple different fights. He's reached his top and his peak.
Yeah.
So that show has reached its top and its peak. Like, they even had the part where he fights the girl, and does he get beat? I mean,
I would say got beat, but no.
Did he?
Did you see the movie or the trailer for the movie, Sword Art movie?
Yes.
So I haven't seen it. I like the idea of that, where it's like, oh, I can't I know how I should react in the game. I physically, because it's all in the real world, and they just have a virtual reality thing. And he's like, I can't react fast enough with what I know I should be able to do. That was another thing that I wish they had gone into more. That my favorite part about Elfenheim, that saga, was when he was in the real world and he was sparring with his cousin.
Yeah.
And he was like, I know how to sword fight, but I can't.
Outside of the speed and the strength, all his other skills, and it should be there. So he should know mentally how to move and how to use a weapon. Speed and strength comes in time. I got that. But he should have been able to beat his cousin flat out just because he's a better swordsman.
Yes. Okay, mentally, yes. But no, because he would be fighting with... So, like you said, he has to take into consideration the weight of a sword, his own physical strength. So no, I don't think he would, because in the game, they do mention like weight in the game, but the weight in the game is not real.
Oh, yeah.
But no, so we're way down a Sword Art rabbit hole real quick. Let's pull ourselves out for a second. Those are my three. You had good picks. I had good picks.
Mine was better than yours, but it's okay.
Okay, well, you know what, Robin? We'll let that go. Sony is buying out Funimation. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I think it'll bring more opportunity. Which Sony is a train wreck, but I believe that for the most part we'll have more properties coming in, and it's more resources that Funimation has to use in the future.
I don't honestly think anybody would have known unless
they said something.
Yeah, they came out in the press.
Okay, so before we got started, I showed you the clip. So this is another piece of not news, but it's a little fun thing to talk about. Kevin Conroy, the iconic voice of Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman, thank you. Was on Talkin' Tunes, which is a Nerdist show, and with the host, and he's also a voice actor, Ron Paulson. He was the voice of Yakko. He did Pinky. He's Donatello in the new Ninja Turtles TV series. He had Kevin Conroy and a few other people. I think it was Paul Dini, but I'm not 100% sure. I just saw the clip. So anyway, he and Kevin Conroy did a back and forth of the dialogue at the end of The Dark Knight. Okay. And I played it for you. I'm just for the sake of it, I'm going to play a quick clip for us, for the viewers to listen to, so they can get a reaction to it. Just a short clip, not the whole thing, because I don't want to get pulled.
Whatever chance you gave us of fixing our cities dies with Harvey's reputation. We bet it all on him. The Joker took the best of us and tore him down. People will lose hope.
They won't. They must never know what he did.
5 dead. 2 of them cops. You can't sweep that up.
But the Joker cannot win. Gotham needs its true hero.
No!
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I can do those things because I'm not a hero. Not like Dent. I killed those people. That's what I can be.
No, you can't. You're not.
I'm whatever Gotham needs me to be.
But yeah, so that was in the movie not my favorite speech. I kind of hated it because I felt like this was stupid.
No, but it was important and need to be said because
it was important to be said. But I felt like it was dumb because it was like, oh, this guy went crazy. The world would understand. The whole hunting hated it.
Everybody already thought he was crazy.
Yeah, but also it was Christian Bale. I hate Christian Bale's Batman voice because it's just you'll find. But anyway, so that being said,
we can go back to George Clooney's Batman voice.
I've never said that George Clooney was a good Batman.
I was saying, if we have to pick and choose, Christian Bale was not a bad Batman voice.
No,
he was probably on a.
He wasn't the worst.
I say he's probably 3 on the list.
No, I would say. So, hold on. Let me just describe this real quick. So anyway, they did this scene where Kevin Conroy did the Batman voice, read it off, and it was amazing. It gave me chills. Like I was inspired by the idea that he said. Like I didn't really bring in the sacrifice. It just sounded like, oh, this whiny Batman's here. But when I heard Kevin Conroy say it, I was like, there's the sacrifice. He says, you'll hunt me. Like, you don't want to, but you'll do it for the betterment of this city, because the city deserves to have something to believe in. It deserves to have its faith rewarded. But let's go back real quick to what you said. You said that Christian Bale is the third. All right, are we just talking about voice actors included, or are we talking about just live action?
Overall Batman voice. What's your top three?
Top three: Kevin Conroy, Bruce Greenwood, and I really liked Michael Keaton, but I'm gonna have to say the voice from the Batman.
The WB?
Yeah, the WB one. I actually really liked that series. People didn't give enough credit for what it was.
It was okay.
I
didn't like the Joker. I understand how he fought like spinning in circles, but that's different.
Ross the Joker?
Yeah, we can go down that road a little bit later. By far, the anime series is the best Batman at all. He is Batman. Also, same with Joker. You cannot pick Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
You cannot pick a better Joker voice out there. Number two, the guy on Facebook, the Batman on Facebook, who always just makes all the videos, all the comedy ones. I don't know his real name. He actually has a very good voice. I'll bring him up for you later. He has a very good voice for Batman. Number three is going to be the Dark Knight. I mean, he is by far a good Batman.
We're talking about Batman voice.
Batman voice.
He's just growling at you. No.
You can understand everything he says.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Maybe you can't. No. I can understand everything he says.
Literally. No, I'm sorry.
Yes.
No. Here, I'm gonna as your friend, I'll take the goggles off for you. There. Now look at it again.
Maybe you should go clean the ears out. You know, I understand how young kids are these days. Y'all don't get all the way in there.
I understand how old people are. You know, the hearing aid might need another battery or what. I don't know.
Apparently, my hearing aid's turned up all the way because I can hear him clearly.
No. All right. Comment down below who you think that's actually. Oh, I'm gonna say that might be a good segue to. You know what? No, we'll save that for another time. We'll do it. We'll do a contest giveaway. We'll give something Batman style away.
I will tell you that the WB, he had the best Bruce Wayne voice. Because it was suave.
It was suave. The thing I did love about
the Batman.
Kevin Conroy's Bruce Wayne was that his Bruce Wayne voice was sarcastic. Whenever he talked, it was like, oh, we're gonna go do this. We're gonna do a party, but it was always almost as if he was making a joke. Like he was like, I'm over. Batman's so dark, where he was like, I'm so over the top about this. Like, I'm out here having fun at this party, which I think is stupid, but and you see the thing, we're not arguing. We're just agreeing. We're adding on points on this point. And we agreed that I think, yes, the Bruce Wayne in The Batman was suave, and he was cool, and he was collected. But I also felt like his Bruce Wayne wasn't... His character, it was weird. Because we actually got to see almost like a Batman Year One, but it was technically Batman Year Two because it started because he said, "Oh, happy anniversary," in the first episode. So he had been Batman for 1 full year, and then it was, "Oh, this Batman is, yes, he's more dedicated to being Batman than being Bruce Wayne, but his Bruce Wayne was still more active than any other Batman was."
Yeah, well, to be fair, every Batman is more Batman than Bruce Wayne.
No, yeah, you're right. But what I mean is like, when this Bruce Wayne did stuff, like, we never saw Bruce Wayne do other stuff. Oh, excuse me. Like we saw in the animated series, like Bruce Wayne was at meetings, or he would, show up at functions or parties.
But this Bruce Wayne was out like sports games, played basketball with his friends, stuff like that.
But he was like involved, where you're like, oh, no wonder people would think that. Like the other Bruce Wayne was like kind of in the social eye, but only at parties. This guy was out doing stuff. Like,
but I liked a business Bruce Wayne because he's a businessman. He should be in the office taking care of all his company.
No,
That's what he should be doing. And outside of that, they're dating models and spending a lot of money because it's what rich punk kids do.
But then where do you draw the line of being a punk kid and being the CEO?
The same thing.
Okay.
But
So-
he's a young CEO. Young CEOs,
Yeah, no.
they go into the boardroom. You tell them exactly what you're going to do. You leave work at 4 o'clock, maybe 3 on a Wednesday, and you go pick up some model in a hot car, and you go out to the club.
Yeah.
And that's all you want to see. You didn't want to see him be a nice guy friend to play some basketball, some shoot up one-on-one. You don't want to see that up from him. You won't. This is a businessman, but he really doesn't care about anything other than his business and his party life.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is both of them were both active Bruce Waynes.
Oh, gotcha.
So if you socially looked, you're like, oh, this guy's way too busy to be in a bat suit running around. Whereas other Batman and other Bruce Wayne, you're like, oh, they never went out. So maybe that crazy guy who's dressed as a bat every night was that crazy rich guy who never comes out of his house.
And that's the problem with Affleck is you literally can see Batman is Affleck.
No.
Yeah, you can. When he goes to the party, you literally can see he doesn't smile. He's just grumpy. He's a stocky person who goes to the party every once in a while. He doesn't go outside much. You could see that. And you could see, like, wait a minute. Yeah, this is Batman.
But so this is the difference between that I want to point out with Batman is that so Batman's been seen by a couple villains, a couple criminals. Like the city doesn't see him. He doesn't come and broadcast until like Superman would. So really, we're talking about that's like me saying here in Dayton, there's a vigilante, and it for all we know, it could be Alex on our kickball team, but we've never seen the actual person. So we're just hearing stories about a guy dressed as a bat jumping around the city, beating up people who's big and stocky. We've never actually seen pictures of him.
Right. But that's the average person. But both people, they meet the cops or they meet government officials. Both people have met big people, the same big people. Both people, for example, have met Lex Luthor. In comic books, movies, TV shows, both of them have met the same person. Lex Luthor is smart enough to say,
smart enough, yes. And ultimately, eventually, he said he knew.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
We're not talking about that. No, we're not talking about Jesse Eisenberg. That made no sense. What I mean is like looking at some people you wouldn't know because you're not like we just said that person. Your mind cannot connect to that person who's at the business meeting, at the parties, at doing this. Is this person?
Now I got that from the average person, but the people who's around him as Batman, who sees the Batman interacts with, who he locks people up, everything, should be able to see that. They should be able to see that Batman's getting older or Batman's getting, and so is Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne's not around when Batman's around. I mean, you should be able to see that. Batman goes out of town, Bruce Wayne goes out of town.
Yes.
So
yes, I could see that, but
the people who's around him, those cops, those political officials, even his villains should be like, wait a minute.
Villains, yes. Political officials would not meet Batman.
Well,
we're talking about like on a consistent basis.
Political officials meet Batman, but normally in the clubs at night when they're doing something shady.
Okay, yeah.
So they still a villain.
I see what you're saying. All right, so we're gonna jump from that topic to our last main topic of news. We're at about 40-something minutes right now, so we need to get caught up and wrap up. So, Black Lightning on the CW. I think this is the fifth series. We had Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl. So yes, this is the fifth one.
So we can get rid of Supergirl, we can get rid of Legends Tomorrow, and we can bring on Static Shock.
That's what I'm trying to get to. So Black Lightning, like I said, will be coming out this fall. It will be a shorter season. It'll be a half season right now, not a full 24 or 23 episode, whatever it is. And it's going to focus on what's his name? Jefferson Jackson? No, that's a Firestorm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Jefferson or Jackson. Oh my gosh, I forget what Black Lightning's actual name is. But anyway, he's a retired superhero, but the showrunner, or the co-showrunner Salim Akal. Anyway, he did the game, I think.
Okay.
But anyway, that doesn't matter. So he went on to say that one, this is a separate universe from Arrow, which I think is stupid. And they said this a while ago. So this is a separate universe, just like Supergirl's a separate universe. Two, the way his series is going to go is they are not going to go villain of the week. Like, we have some Flash episodes that are, Flash versus some random villain, and then back to the main story. Then random villain. They said they're not doing that. It's all going to be one big thing. And he goes on to say...
So a mini-series?
It's kind of a mini-series.
Right.
I wouldn't say mini because it's over... I think it's going to be 13. That's not a mini-series. But anyway, so the main villain will be Tobias Wells. And we talked about this off mic. The more and more he's describing it, it sounds like he's describing Luke Cage.
Yeah, this is DC's Luke Cage.
And I don't want to say that because, we finally have a DC black superhero on TV. Luke Cage is on Netflix. But here's someone... And I know I heard during the San Diego Comic-Con panel that it was inspiring. People were like so into it. The guy who's playing Black Lightning was inspiring about how, he wanted to be Batman when he was a kid, but now he can give kids the option to still be Batman or to be Black Lightning. And I heard that's great and all, but the way the show is being set up, I feel like it should be in the Arrow universe.
How many dark shows do we need in the Arrow universe?
Yeah. But that is one... thank you for bringing that up, because one of the things the guy said, what the showrunner said, was that this is a character-driven show. I don't know if there's going to be a fight every week. No, that's not it. It was something about it being more gritty. Oh, it's more political than Arrow or Flash is, and I get that. It's dealing with police violence and stuff like that, but so did Luke Cage.
Right. So is this going to be, since it's not in the Arrowverse?
Yeah.
Can Flash access it?
Technically, yeah. Or what's his name? Vibe will.
Yeah.
Vibe will be able to access it. But I still don't like that because it seems like a cheat to me. It's like Supergirl. Supergirl has like a chip or a disc or whatever she can throw, and it opens a portal that she can jump through. That's such a cheat. Then put them in the same universe.
To be fair, she shouldn't be in the universe anyway. She should just go away.
Yeah.
It's a horrible show.
But that aside, so say we left her in her own universe. If we had Black Lightning, and they even said it's not confirmed, but they would love to eventually have Static Shock in there. But I think that'd be weird because I don't want Static Shock to be a sidekick. He would be a sidekick because Black Lightning is a electric type Pokemon, electric type hero, and then his, here comes a younger electric type hero. Static Shock would be, or electro kinetic.
See, I kind of wanted it where Black Lightning would have been kind of the Jay Garrick figure to train Static, because Static is by far who is the one that I want to see on TV. I think, and it's been too long.
Yeah, well, I really wanted Static Shock to be introduced in Flash, like Flash was introduced in Arrow, but like say there was an event where Star Labs is starting to come up, right? And they're thinking, okay, well, we need to staff ourselves. So let's get interns.
And Virgil's just going to come through?
And Virgil is the intern. Because in the New 52, they didn't expand on it, but he was an intern at Star Labs. And he knew Robin. He actually helped Robin design his costume. But anyway, so no, Virgil should have been an intern. And I don't know if I want him to get his powers, because I want there to be the Big Bang to be a separate event. Almost like how there was the particle accelerator.
Then it would have to be, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say this, and I don't like saying it, it would have to be in a separate universe, because we already had the particle accelerator in the Flash Arrowverse.
I get that. We could still find a way where, no, the reason Virgil came is because he said, hey, Central City had a similar thing that happened to them. We had this event where it was this gas that came out. It was the same thing as the particle accelerator. I'm here to help, for someone to help me figure it out. And that's where he and Barry, and at some point Barry will need more electricity to do something, and Virgil's there, and they have this cool team up. But it's also because Virgil would open the door for the Milestone universe. We don't need Superman in the Arrowverse.
No, we do not.
But we could have Icon. And Icon is...
No,
let me finish. Let me stop for a second. Let me get there. Icon is the super conservative, like, help yourself kind of hero, and he needed Rocket, his sidekick, to come in and kind of get him engaged to be a hero. It'd be cool if this guy did exist, but he was very much like, people need to help themselves. I'm forced to come. That explains why he's not been there. Why? Because if there was a Superman, it wouldn't make sense that anything in that universe has happened. Like the aliens invading, the bomb in Central City, the nuclear weapon that went off in whatever Ragman's town was. If you watch that episode, Superman would be involved. And this would make sense that a superpowered being would be there. And we could even develop that Icon being the super conservative and Oliver being the super liberal, which he should end up being, will clash. And there's our Batman-Superman dynamic. But,
that could be done different ways. That would have been done real good if they would have brought Black Lightning into Arrowverse. Because him and Ollie could clash back and forth multiple times. Yeah. To a point where Black Lightning, let's say if he wants to push things past just to throwing people in jail because it's not just working, and he wants to, because he's already been a superhero before, so he sees this stuff doesn't work. So maybe he does want to kill. Not saying he's going to, but maybe he does. And that's a good leeway to say, look, I'm the Punisher of this universe. This is what I do. I'm going to punish people in my city. I'm going to make sure that these people here do not come back on the streets again. And then Ollie with his holier than thou type thing right now was like, no, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm. I don't even think it's that, because it's him coming out of retirement. I think it'd be, I don't know, just a generational thing. I think would be cool, but we're not going to get it there. This has been, they're redoing Luke Cage on TV in a DC universe. Yeah. I just think it's a waste. We've developed a universe, and Villain of the Week would be cool because we could have. Because you really couldn't. You can sometimes bring a metahuman to Arrow, and it'd be kind of cool. But like, you could actually take a metahuman, put it in, I think it's Detroit or wherever Black Lightning is, and he has to face off against them. So like the one guy who absorbs energy or electricity, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool if Black Lightning then faced him. Or we saw the villains kind of cross over, and then it's like, oh, you should be in Central City, and there's your little tie-in.
Well, I wanted him in the Arrowverse for the fact that this is the first time. Because right now in Arrowverse, it's kids doing everything. Like, I don't care if they're 20 or whatever. It's a bunch of kids who saving the world. Barry, Supergirl, Arrow, these are all kids. This is the first time we have a vet. Yeah. Pretty much like a military veteran guy who's going to say, look, y'all been messing things up more than y'all been fixing things. So he's going to like, look, this is what y'all doing wrong, and this is how it needs to be. I don't care if you've been doing it for 4 or 5 years. I've been doing this my entire life. Yeah. And that we had that option to actually be able to unite everybody under one person. It doesn't have to be the strongest person, but it just has to be somebody you can unite for. Yeah. Like Batman, for example. Everybody unites under Batman if he needs to go out and fight because they know Batman knows what he's talking about. He can keep everybody focused on one way, and he can hold his own. And that's all it was. But the Black Lightning, I don't believe it's going to succeed. I believe it's going to have 2 seasons. I'm just praying to God that they don't do another Heroes where the first season is great and it just gets just shitty and shitty and 2.
And I had to count it too. No, but we'll see. It's this fall. I have hopes for it. I already don't like the style because I don't want to watch Luke Cage again. I would have found it great if it was, there was a villain like not every week, but like a separate villain that had nothing to do with the main one. So I could see someone different. I'm trying to think of who a Black Lightning villain would be.
So is this going to be kind of more like Smallville, where you didn't fight a villain or a bad guy every week, but sometimes things happen and you have to figure out how to overcome it.
I think that's what I'm understanding, but we'll see. We have to wait for another trailer to come out to get an idea.
And the attention of kids nowadays, I don't think that's going to work. We need something sharp and sparkly and shiny to come, been thrown in my face. But we'll see. I hope it doesn't fail.
Yeah, I don't want it to fail either.
It's nice to see even though there is Black heroes in the DC, in the Arrowverse, this is nice to see a actual one who has his own.
Yeah. But the thing about being in the Arrowverse, just one last thing, is Katana exist in the Arrowverse, and Metamorpho was mentioned in season 1 of Arrow.
Well,
And Stag was in season 1 of Flash. So if they ever made Metamorpho, you have your Outsiders. But you need Batman to have Outsiders. I know that. So with that being said, we'll wrap up episode 52 of the Token Nerd podcast. That I think we're going to call this one a Sony Disposition. So we're welcoming the newest Robin to the podcast.
we'll talk about that later.
Well, it's probably going to say Robin. So we're going to be more consistent on this. This is going to go up, I hope, Thursday night. Or no, it's not Thursday night. It's Tuesday. Hopefully Tuesday night, Wednesday evening as well. One of those 2 nights it's going to go up. And then we'll try to get a consistent schedule. And maybe we'll have some more news that will be a little bit more news-based and less rumor and reaction-based. And then we'll be having some spotlights coming up, and I believe we'll be having a Token Nerd giveaway coming up this month as well. So keep an eye on our Instagram and Facebook, all our social media basically, which is Token Nerd 00 for Facebook, Token_Nerd for Instagram and Twitter. Like I said, just keep up with us. Also check us out on Podbean, if that's what you're listening to us here, iTunes, and then we also have our YouTube channel. Subscribe and comment. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions, let us know, and we'll answer them in the next episode. All right, All right, goats. Wow, it's been a long day. All right, folks, as always, I'm Anthony.
And I'm Eddie.
And stay spicy, my friends. Yeah, so I go, and then you go do your thing, and then I say stay spicy. It's our thing.
Spicy. Oh.
Yeah. Why does everyone has a problem with it at first? At first.
See, it's going to be like forever.
It is forever. Stay spicy, my friends.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Hey everyone, this is Travis Likens from Token Nerd Podcast, and I'm here today to tell you something about sponsorship. That's right, Token Nerd now has a sponsor. The fine folks at TenaciousToys.com, your source for designer toys, pop vinyl, original art, and more, are now our sponsor. And guess what? As a part of that, you can get 10% off your next order at TenaciousToys.com by entering the code TOKEN10 at checkout. That's right, 10% off. And not only are they giving you this code, they're also going to be sponsoring many of our Token Nerd giveaways in the next coming months. So make sure to follow us at Token_Nerd on Instagram to catch our latest giveaways.